Hey everybody, welcome back. We are getting ready to react to Game of Thrones. We're on season 5. I don't know what episode yet. We'll get there. I'm a week late in getting these done. I got these last weekend, but that's also between trying to get the deck finished on the staining and my D drive disappearing and my backup not working correctly. That's all fixed now. The backup's not working the way it should, but for the most part, everything's fixed. Deck is almost done staining. I'm in a lot of pain. I can't move in certain positions with my back. So if you see me wince, it's because I had a shock go up my back. Purdy hasn't been held all day. I had to go to the store to work. I'm itchy all of a sudden. I had to go to the store to work and then got groceries. While I ate lunch, finished watching the Penn State game. Started to get worried there for a minute. We weren't playing as well as we should have, but we did win. Then finished the railings. So now all I have to do is the mop part of the staining, and we're going to hopefully do that tomorrow. There's supposed to be rain tomorrow, so I've got to figure out when I can do it, but that's the plan. Purdy is in her spot. However, I think I've got the light too low because that looks, oh, you know what? That looks normal. Okay, I had my contrast down low. I forgot about that. I took a nice long hot bath and had my laptop with me and turned the contrast down just so it wasn't so bright because I had my dimmer light on low and all that just to relax, try to relax the back muscle that's hurting. At any rate, all right, that's not why you guys came here. We are getting ready to react to Game of Thrones. This is basically the only thing I remember from the last one, which it's been 2 weeks now since I didn't get this watched last weekend. I think it's been 2 weeks now. But the only thing I remember from the last one is that Khaleesi has her army, and I don't worry. After the reaction, I went to look to see if there was a translation of her speech and found a couple of different videos that had it all translated already. So I watched it, stopped, read, stopped, read, stopped, read. Um, and so I got to listen to her speech. I had the basic concept of it. I understand why some of the other army men were killed because they were the ones that were used to discipline the ones that continued on with Khaleesi, and then that's why they killed the non-army men, the men in the robes, the well-dressed men, I should say. Well, I don't know if they were considered well-dressed, but at any rate, and the command that she get, well, she didn't really give the dragon a command. She just basically said that the dragon is a slave to no one, or something to that effect. No, she did tell the dragon to burn or something like that, to burn him. Something like that. At any rate, that was 2 weeks ago. It was a long time ago. I can't remember anymore. My allergies are acting up. I don't know if it's the cats or from being outside or something else. But hopefully the runny nose isn't too bad. The Khaleesi getting her army is basically the main thing I remember. That was the most exciting part of it all. It felt like a season finale, even though it wasn't. So I'm kind of anxious to see how the rest of the season's going to go. So let's go ahead and get started and go from there. Season 5, Episode 5, and this one's called Kissed by Fire. It's got a picture of John, but I was going to say Kissed by Fire. The most relevant thing well, could mean a couple of things. It could mean the White Walkers being burned, but it could mean kissed by the dragon, also the dragon fire. So I'm not sure where we're going with that. Could also mean the redhead, the Red Sonja of it all. Yeah, those are my only fire associations I can think of right now. And it could be something just totally new. So we will have to see. But let's go ahead and get into it. I do have some apples and some the last little bit of caramel dip. So you may see me munching on those. Hopefully it's not crunching during any important parts, although you guys will know what most of it, you'll know where things are at because you should have watched it already. So at that, let's go ahead and get into it. Just jumping in to say, if you'll please subscribe, I'm trying to reach 1,000 subscribers. And if I do reach that goal, then one of the things I will do is a drinking game reaction. You guys get to pick the movie and we kind of go from there. So hopefully we can find one that will work well that I have not seen yet and have a little fun. So if you don't mind, please subscribe. Thanks. Oh, that's right. This is the men with no banner, and they seem to pray to the same god as Stannis. Is that Stannis right there? No. I have the worst time picking out who Stannis is unless they call him by name. Does he have a little alcohol in his blood? They sure are shoving Arya around, aren't they? Look at her getting into it. Mm. He killed the one praying to the god of light.
But not today.
So they did bring him back from the dead. I take it that was the Kissed by Fire.
How many men remain in Castle Black?
1,000.
Liar.
What happens to your eagle after I kill you? Does he drift away like a kite with his strings cut?
I'll pull your guts out through your throat.
It's a
1,000.
little worse than a Colombian necktie, huh?
Ygritte! Ygritte!
So her name's Ygritte?
Ygritte!
Isn't that a bird?
I want you to see me.
I think he sees you.
All of me.
Well, John's having a happy day, isn't he? So far.
Let's not go back.
So again, even though they don't want to, they're letting him go. Although I wonder if there's a catch, but
And your sister.
is he gonna lie?
How can I put this? Your sister is alive and well. Your father's forces prevailed.
Okay, told him the
Jeremy's
truth.
well.
The safest course would be to take the whole arm off.
And you'll die.
If it gangrenes, you'll die.
And traditionally paid for by the royal family. I was told you
I
were
can't
bright
tell
and
if he's
pertinent and
impressed with
thoroughly
her,
devoted.
intimidated by
You can
her,
imagine my disappointment at finding nothing but a browbeaten book.
finding her dull,
Where did you go for them?
all of the above.
Atlantis?
We're leaving tomorrow. And then
What? Serve him? Look, I've served men my entire life.
I didn't realize that was her ultimate goal. I just thought she was bringing them along because they were friends.
I can be your family.
Oh,
Be
Ari.
my family.
She keeps losing her friends and her family. They killed the Lannister boys.
They were his king.
They were boys!
Look at them.
I'm glad Rob seems to have some morals.
To look at our king in the north. Or should I call him the king who lost the north?
They're turning.
Tell the Karstarks that as long as they remain loyal, you will not be harmed.
Did he agree with them?
I wanted to haunt you to the end of your days. Kneel, my lord.
So he is going to execute him.
You are no king of mine.
So he didn't heed his mom's, wife's, or head of the guard advice.
He wanted to refuse your ransom altogether.
So why don't you?
We need the gold.
I'm glad he's not insisting on lying to her. I think he admires how smart she is.
No, not 6 times. Just once.
I don't think it works that way, child.
Bring her daddy back.
He was a good man.
She's having to grow up so fast. She's looking older, isn't she? Or maybe it was just the lighting.
Lady. Yes, of course.
That's Stannis. Told you guys I have a terrible time picking him out.
When she told me.
Oh, I just realized she's not the witchy lady. So he has a daughter that they've tried to keep him away from? Oh.
You've grown since I last saw you.
Mother said you fought in a battle.
She injured in a fire?
Need a bath. Let me have these rags.
Nothing like a community bath. You can see how excited she is to take a bath with him.
There's another tub.
This one suits me fine.
He likes to torment her, doesn't he? I think part of it is his admiration for her.
Interested. You're supposed to get me to King's Landing in one piece. Not going so well, is it? No wonder Renly died with you guarding it.
He likes waving that red flag, doesn't he?
With their skin blackened, blistered, and melted off their bones.
So was Stannis' daughter burned with wildfire?
Stables, taverns, even beneath the Red Keep itself. Finally.
He seems like he's slipping further and further into the water. Is she going to have to pull him out?
But he did listen to Grand Maester Pycelle, that grey sunken cunt.
Littlefinger?
Drove my sword into his back. Burn them all, he kept saying.
Is this confessional
I don't think he expected to die.
to show us his reasons for why he slayed the Mad King?
But what right?
The Kingslayer!
Jamie. My name's Jamie.
Did he have a bit of a seizure there? He usually can't talk through a seizure, though.
It's easy. It'll be fun.
Go. We can't.
How do you discourage somebody who likes you? We're marching single file? That's a long line of 8,000 people.
And full plate metal for 16 hours. Never occurred to me till the fight.
Well, they're getting along well, aren't they?
First man knighted to piss on the king's boots.
So I'm guessing he said Daenerys. I'm guessing she was telling them to remember who they are and not what people call them or stuff like that.
No, but I was busy defending the Khaleesi against King Robert's assassins while you were still bowing to the man. We both wanted to rule. Am I wrong? And I take my orders from the Queen.
So it's not quite a bromance yet.
Back from the Greyjoys. Wait out the winter.
Winter could last 5 years.
But he is snoring.
Home again.
Give them a new purpose.
What?
Is she pregnant?
I don't know. I don't even know where Winterfell is.
Guess she's not pregnant.
There is only one person in this kingdom with that kind of army who hasn't already sided with the Lannisters. The man whose daughter I was supposed to marry.
So what makes him think he'll team up with him since he didn't marry his daughter? Is he going to let her know that
Your hair.
they have her marriage arranged?
We'll speak again when I return.
I guess he's waiting for the right opportunity.
We have something important to discuss.
A master of coin. Saving money is important.
Stop that. Theon Greyjoy murdered both his brothers. That makes Sansa Stark the heir to Winterfell.
They still don't know that the Bran
Tyrell
and
army is
the
helping us to win
other
this war.
little boy
We
is
really
still
think
alive.
it's wise to refuse them.
There's nothing to
We
refuse.
haven't seen him in
This
a
is
while
plot.
either.
We need to act first and kill this union in its crib.
And how do we do that?
We find Sansa Stark a different husband.
Wonderful.
Yes, it is.
They want him to marry her.
You can't mean it.
Ah,
I
poor
can't really do.
Tyrion.
Joffrey has made this poor girl's life miserable since the day he took her father's head. Now she's finally free of him, and you give her to me? That's cruel, even for you.
You intend on mistreating her? And it is past time you were wed.
I was wed.
Oh, was he?
You remember?
The
Did
gods
we know
give us
about that?
This is more than you
I
deserve.
might have forgotten already.
What do you mean?
Who is she to marry?
You'll marry Sir Loras.
Oh,
You will do as I command, and you will marry Loras Tyrell. And put an end to
she
the
doesn't like it when the
disgusting
tables
rumors
turn,
about
does
you.
she? Well, hopefully neither one of those go through with it. Is that supposed to be Stannis' daughter? That's who it sounds like.
The shadows come to dance.
The shadows come to dance. Shadows come to stay. Now, didn't witchy woman Mela? I don't know why it shrinks so bad like that. Isn't Melodies? What witchy woman? She gave birth to a shadow. So did that song have something to do with the shadow? And her face looks burned. So I'm wondering if she was burned with wildfire, because they were talking about that earlier. I don't think they would introduce us to her, Stannis' daughter. I didn't catch her name. You guys know it takes me a while to get the names. But they wouldn't introduce us to her if there wasn't something more to it, something more going on. So makes me wonder. Poor Sansa just can't get out of trouble. Not only is Littlefinger after her, but the Tyrells are after her, and now Tywin is after her. She's going to wish she had ran away. And Lawrence is at Marguerite. It's not Margot. Marjorie. Marjorie's brother is Lawrence. He apparently is easy to work since Littlefinger sent his spy in. That guy's face looked familiar too. I don't know if I've seen him before or not. I'll have to research it and see if I can figure out which one he is and then see what else he's been in. We got a little bit from John and Egret. An egret is a snowbird, isn't it? Maybe it's a swamp bird. It's like a cousin to a flamingo, isn't it? They probably spell it differently, though. What am I looking for? Oh, an egret is a heron, generally long-legged wading bird. So I was picturing the right bird. Move south for the winter, traveling as far as the West Indies or southern Central America. They migrate by day in small flocks, may stay as far north as Massachusetts. Individuals from the southern U.S. may not migrate at all. We used to have a blue heron that would come by the old house in Pennsylvania all the time. We had a creek beside us that it liked to wade in. What do you think of the show? Was it good to sleep to? Just get cozy. Just get cozy. I wouldn't be surprised if Egret gets pregnant. I was trying to think. Oh, Ari is going to be sold back to her family. The guy was kind of, he was only upfront with her after she said, this is what's going on. And he did say the truth then. They smell like bathwater. Well, apples and caramel dip. I think that guy, I didn't catch his name. I think it kind of admires her. The fact that she's lived this long, the fire that she has in her, and all that kind of stuff. And so this is a different group that worships the god of light, separate from Stannis's group. And I'll look up for sure what Khaleesi was saying with the head of the officers. I'm pretty sure she was basically saying to go by his name given to him at birth or something to that effect, not to go by vermin names. I think she's trying to not only show that she's a good leader, but show compassion and respect and that kind of stuff. At least that's the feeling that I'm getting from everything. So, yeah, I think that's where we're at. So, thank you all for joining me on this one, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.